Drop.
Damn. Go. Chill.
Drop.
Damn. Go. Chill.
Drop.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Hey, it's Mike Anderson with Living Motion Monograms and the 1% Solution. And today we are going to be talking, actually answering some questions from the mailbag and answering your questions. Quiet here today. Yeah, a little bit quiet. And so we'll be answering your questions on the live stream itself, and from any questions you guys may have on the chat that we're going to be taking place there. So I want to welcome you guys. Hope you guys, I know it's been a while since the last time we did a live stream, but luckily with the wedding season it's coming down just a little bit, we'll be able to do this a little bit more often. So I look forward to being live for you guys, answering questions, and pumping out some more tutorials for you guys. Don't forget, if you do have some suggestions as far as what you want done for tutorials, make sure that you leave a comment in the on the YouTube channel here. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that you get notified whenever we do go live or when new tutorials are uploaded for you. Lindley, we want to welcome you here today in the chat. We appreciate you being here. If you guys want to be a part of the live chat, don't forget, just make sure you log into log into YouTube, and you can use the live chat feature there. Or if you're on an iOS device or on your mobile device, you're probably going to have to either log in on with the YouTube app or go on to YouTube itself. So let's see what is going on here today. We've got a few things happening. Don't forget, guys, let me know if everything's sounding great in the on the stream itself, or if you guys are having issues so that I can make some corrections. We're working with some new equipment, upgrading, like the new studio here at the Living Motion Monograms and 1% Solution. This is the headquarters. We're on the 120th floor of our office complex. You can pretty much see it from the entire city. It's no, that's not actually what's going on. So let's just cut back into our face cam here. This will work out a lot better. So we're going to be going over some questions. We've got a bunch of them that have been popping up, and I'm going to be answering them throughout the stream here. But we're going to I'll go ahead and just kind of get into our first one here. Let's bring it over here so we can all see it. This one is from Paul. Paul just says, "Hey, just curious. I'm in the market for a couple of new projectors. What is your projector of choice? I was considering the Optima W416 at around 4,500 lumens. Thanks in advance for your opinions." Hey, and Paul, I'll kind of say it again. Hopefully people don't get tired of hearing this, but that's actually, that's a really great projector. But at the same time, there are going to be some features that you may want to really consider when looking for a projector for doing either monograms or projector mapping or just showing video. And I'm always a huge advocate. Make sure that the projector itself has, basically you're going to look for what's called native resolution. And what that is the actual pixel count that the projector can produce. So almost all projectors these days are going to say that they're an HD projector. And that just means that they can accept an HD signal. But if you look at the native resolution itself, just make sure that's 1920 by 1080. It's going to give you a lot better quality image that you're projecting onto walls or onto the screen, and than some of the low resolution projectors out there. 4,500 lumens. That's one of those things where it's got some power to it, some kick to it. Something else to consider, especially when you're kind of going off brand. If Optima is not really an off brand, but if you're going to go with something besides the Epson or the Optima or the BenQ or the some of the main brand projectors, then you want to be careful with just reading into the lumens, because there's ANSI lumens and then there's just lumens. Pretty much, if it just says lumens, they can pretty much tout whatever they want. If it says ANSI lumens, that's basically that is a controlled measurement that has been applied to where the projector itself gets tested. So at least that way, if it's got that ANSI in front of it, it's been tested. It's going to be pretty accurate. So I think that 4,500 lumens is going to be a lot of power. I definitely would say above 4,000 if it's a regular throw projector. You're going to notice like ultra short throw and short throw projectors are going to be right around 25 to 3,000 lumens. Some of them a little bit higher than that. But remember, you're only going to be projecting from either 3 feet away, or some of the ultra short throw projectors can project from 12 inches away. So you're not going to be throwing that image nearly as far, so that's why they don't need as much brightness. There's a couple other things to consider is 4-corner keystone, and that's something that is extremely handy, especially if you have to shoot from, say, usually like with projectors, we're faced with shooting up or down depending on if the screen's higher or lower than the projector. But let's say if you're in a room and you have to project from a side angle. Well, 4-corner keystone is going to allow you to correct that image to make it look perfect, and also gives you some flexibility in resizing the screen to fit what you want to project onto, and that definitely helps out. These days, I really don't think that having the ability to play media from a projector is nearly as important, just because there's so many other options. I got boxes stacking up. We're going to be doing some product reviews here pretty soon too. What is the... That's... Because I got stuff. You guys will see a video. Look for the video on the PC stick that we got from Asus. And that is one of those, really, really handy tools that I use because I can plug it into a TV or I can plug it into pretty much anything I want. A projector, but it basically is a Windows 10 PC. Allows you to do a lot of stuff. Like, again, you're not going to game on this thing, but you're showing videos, showing photos, putting some programs on there. Are going to definitely give you some advantages of not having to hook up a PC or run wires to a projector if you're just doing some basic stuff. Plus, soon I'm going to be putting this little thing to the test. We're going to see like if it'll run things like, I don't know, virtual DJ. See if it's got enough power to, pump out some tunes. I think that would be very cool. And then, you just plug it into the back of a screen and now your screen is a PC. We're going to be doing some fun stuff like that. We've got this laying around. This is if you guys can see, this is the 8-man projector. Now, this is a pretty big box. But look at this thing. That's how big it is. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna put this thing to the test. We're gonna see how bright it is. Obviously, it's not gonna be the brightest thing in the world, but it is wireless and it's also battery powered. So we're gonna see what kind of fun stuff we can create with this thing and do a little review with that as well. So that'll be upcoming. So Paul, I appreciate you chiming in there. Robbie Britton posted something where it was a bridal show idea. Monograms on the fly. Show them live what their monogram will look like. Is it thoughts? And yeah, I love this idea. It's something we've done for years as far as just setting up a great display with I really don't do many bridal shows, but I do a lot of open houses for facilities around the area, and being able to have your booth set up or a DJ set up in a nice big clean wall that you can get the image down a little bit lower, and simply make an announcement at the beginning of it going, hey, we're going to be doing some monogram designs over here and at our little selfie station. So if you guys want to come on over, get your names and lights and take a photo, we're going to be doing that for you. And they just kind of get in line and start filling out the information, give me their wedding date and all that stuff. And meanwhile, I just do that on the iPad, and we basically get a chance to, collect all the information and have a great time doing it. So it definitely helps when you have at least one other person in the booth. And I think that you should limit it. Usually what I do is have like 5 basic designs set up, and then have a book of other stuff that we can do and obviously custom designs. But it's, an instant, attention getter, wow, kind of magnet. It's like everybody wants to try it. And it's an easy way to break the ice and start talking to people about their weddings. Plus it just looks cool. I mean, yeah, there was some talk on our Facebook group about, does this really, what does it do with the impression that it only takes 30 seconds to make a monogram? I don't think that comes into play. They know you're just changing names on one particular design. I don't think that's that big of a deal when they open the book and they don't know how long it takes to make all the other ones, or how much time you're going to spend on those. So I don't think that's going to really come into play when it comes to the design work itself. So it's not going to kind of deteriorate what the value that they're going to see in having that at their event, because it's not just about the design, it's about what the equipment you're using to show it and to make it look great, and what else you can do with that equipment. So great question, Robbie, appreciate that. And Jesse, I use a BenQ for video montages, which connects to my laptop. I always have trouble with sizing. The zoom out is not enough. The image is huge. I literally have to move the projector really close so I can fit to the screen. Any suggestions? Yes. We've got a couple. I've got a couple different ways you can. Number one is probably, might be a short throw projector. Take a look at the model number or something, and just kind of see what the distance is that it projects from. Because remember, like, the farther away you're going to project it, the more power you're going to need. It's not going to be as bright. especially for showing video montages where there's a lot of different colors in those photos. So you may just have to have that projector closer. The other thing you can do is, if you do have to have the projector farther away, is use something like Grand VJ, where you can control the keystoning. And when I get to an event, basically, I can just choose the spot I want my projector and point it in the direction I want it to, project onto. And then by using Grand VJ, we can create any size screen we want and make it look great. And that's just with the keystoning feature. The keystoning feature in Grand VJ goes way above and beyond any capabilities of any four-corner keystone that a projector can do, because they're usually limited to like 15 to 30%. And so, yeah, I think that you're either going to have to do a software-based, or you're just going to, you have to get that projector closer and plan on having it a little bit closer to that screen. I don't know. Maybe we can we just start saving up, get a new toy for your events there. All right, let's see here. We've got next one coming up here. All right, Lourdes says, for those who design in Adobe After Effects, how the heck do you export it out? I got the design done, but can't figure it out. Hey, Lourdes, I've been there. I struggled with this for a very long time, and I'm going to do something that my computer is probably going to hate me for, and it may have a little glitch here in the stream. Don't panic, as we start up some pretty labor-intensive software. But yeah, as you're making designs, it's actually pretty easy here. But there's a couple steps to it, couple-step process in order to make it happen. I know the last 4 weeks I've been trying to get back onto the live stream for you guys to do more, but it's been this month has been insane with events, and just trying to stay up with it and stay caught up was pretty crazy. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me on that. Fire this up here. All right. And let's go into so when we do have a project, it's probably not going to let me do this here until what I'm going to do here is I'm going to answer another question as I get this thing reloaded back up while we continue on. So, Lourdes, we're going to come back to that in just a second as that gets loaded up. Because here's another important one. It says, I'm about to give up. I just don't get the same results as everyone else. This is the EH515 and a Motion Monogram. I am running it through VPT7, which might be the issue, but I have to resize it. And it's about a 40-foot throw. This is one of those things where there's a couple things you can do. And reading on later on in the comments, we realized that this room just may not be the best one to do a monogram in, at least up on the walls, just because you're projecting on the worst possible surface. The really dark walls, just don't work out well. So if we can hunt down even this white surface just below it, and basically he says 360 degrees around the room, we've got this big blue stripe here, really dark blue, and it's just is kind of the worst surface to project onto. You can get away with it, maybe not with this particular Motion Monogram, especially with the 515, you can get away with it if you're projecting white and just doing a regular monogram. I think it would look really good. But yeah, it's just the dark surfaces are going to absorb that light, and that's what we're kind of relying on is for the surface to be able to reflect the light that's being projected onto it to get a really bright, crisp image. So, take the time to look at that, see if there's any other surfaces around. You can also check out some of the settings. Almost every projector's got some general settings in the display and in the menu to be able to kick things up a notch. I know Optimas have what's called Blackboard setting under displays, and that just really pumps up the output. Some projectors have different output settings, like eco mode or something, where it's only doing half brightness on the bulb, which is great if you're in a really dark room and you don't need to use the power. You can save some of the life of your bulb, but in this situation, you just want to make sure that's cranked up as bright as possible to give you the best possible effect. But yeah, starting from square one, which is see if we can find a different surface to project onto. Sometimes that's not possible, but now, at least in the future, we can, you can let clients know that it may be best to have more of a white monogram for these type of events. All right, and don't forget, you guys got questions, go ahead and pop them in that live chat there. We're going to be, whether it's projection, monogram, anything you guys have needed answered, we can go into that as well. Just a little bit here. Let's see what this one is here. That's going to be loading up here, and I'll continue with this one. Good morning. Looking into start offering textured lighting. Do you recommend going to a projector? Going with a projector, is it the best to use ellipsoidal lights with the gobos? Yeah, we get this question a lot, and I would say both. Okay, let's try this. Let's start with the photo that you've got here. So in this photo, we've got a great design effect on this back wall, and I think that it's probably going to be a little more challenging to do with projection. And the reason I say that is that in order to do a wall like this, you're gonna have to use 2 projectors, if not 3, depending on the length of this wall. And in that aspect, then you've got to utilize software to get it all linked up and all that stuff, like Grand VJ or something, or some kind of mapping software. So it can be a little more complicated if you're just getting started. Like, I would probably do this with projectors because I have them and I don't want to spend any more money on other stuff in order to do this event. But if you wanted to have something that's, stock designs that you want to offer, couples, and be able to do, this is a really nice design that you could use for multiple events, weddings, quinceañeras, anything like that we want to kind of utilize. And it would turn out great. But the benefit of the projectors, you could pretty much offer almost any design you want. Pretty easy to create them, and whatever it is that they may want for their events, it doesn't really cost you anything but time in order to put it together and create it. So I think that that's one of the big benefits with using projectors, and if you have the ability to be able to do it. And that's what I'm a big advocate for. When I buy gear, is just I want gear that I can use not just for like a certain situation, but I'd rather spend a little bit more money and be able to use it for almost any situation. I think it saves me money in the long run. Plus, they tend to you kind of get what you pay for sometimes with the quality of gear. So take some time and just make sure that you've got gear that's going to last you as well, to get the most out of it. So we've got our After Effects here. We're going to go back to that question, just kind of remind people. We had some, Lord, just want to ask, how do we finalize in let's see, this is Adobe After Effects. And so if we look at this is our image. that we were working on here. And when it comes to finalizing, what you do is we've got our different templates set up here, so we can render at a lower resolution or high. This is 1920 by 1080. And then what you're going to end up doing is going into composition at the top and going to add to render queue. And you can see we've rendered this a few different times, but what it will look like is that you'll have one down here. And then you've got some, render settings. This is probably something we can kind of go through. We got quality, set that for best, or resolution at full. And that might be set up that way by default. And then under output module, typically I'm going to render this as a QuickTime file. Because I always go in and do my final render with like Sony Vegas. So I've got my QuickTime file here. That's not the actual file type that I use for events, but so we've got QuickTime, we hit OK, and then you got to select your output. So output 2, and we'll just toss this onto the desktop, and that'll just pick the location you want it to go, and then right off to the right side, hit render, and then you'll see your status bar start to change. So kind of an easy process, but it is really hard to find. It took me, it took a lot of tutorial looking in order to find that when I first started using After Effects. And I'm kind of getting into that a little bit more, so I'm hoping to, eventually get some more tutorials up for you guys on After Effects and kind of help you guys out even more. So hopefully we'll get that going for you as well. Let's see. Keyframe frequency. 4 seconds. Really? Sorry, guys. I want to see if I can let me make an adjustment on the fly to make YouTube a little happier on this. In seconds. We're going to go to done. Okay. I'm going to see if that will make YouTube just a little bit happier. And it hopefully will help you guys out if you're buffering a little bit while watching. Probably not for anybody watching VOD, but you guys will be fine. All right. Our next question. Hey, do you do anything with animated monograms? Someone off Facebook DJ group called DJ Idea Sharing acted like you did. Thanks. No. No. Not at all. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, so yeah. check out the group. I mean, the website, livingmotionmonograms.com. That's basic. That's what it's all about. I was joking with someone the other day, and he was talking to me about the whole Living Motion Monograms thing, and I was telling him, I go, my business plan is horrible. He's like, well, what's your business plan? I go, basically I'm here to put myself out of business. And what are you talking about? Well, my focus is to train people and DJs to, be able to do this on their own. There's people out there don't want to learn. That's fine. I'm here to help those out as well. But that's why I've got the YouTube channel. That's why we do the tutorials. That's why I spend so much time on Facebook, is to do everything I can just to, help you guys out and to get you to that point where then you can start being creative and be able to have that confidence of being able to do it on your own. And it takes time. I mean, it's not something that you just learn overnight. And I always, I'm a big advocate of telling people, just take baby steps, man. Just learn one thing, get excited, but learn that next thing, get more excited. So I'll get off my pedestal over here now. We'll go back to our main setup. But I appreciate the question. But yeah, any questions you may have about monograms, projection, all that stuff, hey, we got you taken care of. Appreciate asking. Hey, Mike, I hope you're having a great Monday night. I wanted to ask you something. I've been searching and trying to get information, but I cannot find anything online. Here it goes. Do you need to know what you, let's see. I don't need to know what you charge, but if you know what would be a fair price to charge for cake mapping, I have an offer from a bakery that would like to work together, but I'm not sure if what I want to charge is fair, pretty much fair market value based on what I spend on time and everything, making the designs. I get around $800 to $1,000, but I don't want to overprice it or even worse, underprice my fee. I'd really greatly appreciate it if you could give me some feedback on this. So yeah, I think that there shouldn't be a set price. I think the only set price you should have is going to be based on the most basic setup you can do. One projector, square cake, something set, just have it priced based on the setup. So we know it's going to be one projector, computer, mapping. We're going to, basic designs, maybe, a texture or something loop with a monogram put over the top of it. Now from there, when the clients start to talk about like, okay, what is it that they want? Well, then you got to consider what there's the stuff that's going to cost more is going to be like the design fees and the other time that you put into it. So at least you give them an idea of like, look, here's where we start, and here are some, and give them some options. Like you could pick from these templates, like these videos, these textures that we can project onto the cake. And we could do a monogram. We could do all kinds of stuff for this price. And then as we get into more of the other design work, it's going to cost more. But until I know what it is that you guys want, I can't really give you a quote based on the more custom work. But at least we have an idea of where we're going to start. Because that's what they want to know. They want to know, okay, where's it going to get an idea? A lot of them, the people who want cake mapping, oh, believe me, they want cake mapping. And you're not going to get someone who never thought of it before to, go, hey, do you do cake mapping or something, or see like a photo and going, ooh, wait a minute. That's just typically the people who want cake mapping. They pretty much have seen it before and they've got an idea of what they want. So, I think it's one of the great sales tools of being able to just say that, yeah, I can do this. When people see a wedding cake mapped and they see video footage of stuff that you've done, man, it is a huge, I think, bonus in their eyes. Like, I can put this on a wedding cake. That whatever it is, whatever idea you have, if I can do this, I can do pretty much anything you can think of. And it's not just with the brides. When other vendors know that the stuff that you can do. A lot of the unique designs or stuff that I do at the wedding industry events, not because I ever want to do it again. I just want to, test my skills, see how far we can take it and how much we can do with it. Because somewhere down the road, it's going to, it'll pay off. People will be, when they get impressed and they're like, wow, he did this and this and this. So, I think it's great to have a starting package, but don't paint yourself into a corner. Let them know that certain designs certain design work and everything is gonna cost some money. If they want a Disney themed cake and you got to pay royalties and stuff in order to use specific artwork and designs and stuff for that event, it's gonna start to add up. And you don't want to go, yeah, we do it for $800 and you just spent $800 on royalties for a Mickey Mouse image. Just get you in a lot of trouble there and end up losing money on the event. When let's see, when are you gonna when you do your motion monograms, are you hardwired or to the projector? So sometimes. So I do both. It just depends on the placement of the projector. I love wireless. I'm still a big advocate for wired when it's convenient, when I don't have to get on my hands and knees and tape stuff down. But if the projector is going across the floor, across, the room, I'm a huge advocate for doing wireless, and this is one of those areas you would regret of going cheap. I've used HD Flow for years. It's worked really, really great for nearly all situations. There's been a couple situations where I think pushed the limits too far. I think it was like, 300, no, it's about 400 feet at an event, and it was connecting and kind of not. And so one of the really convenient factors with the HD Flow system is that I can carry, 500 foot, cable of Ethernet and Cat 5 cable. And I just, ran that from one side to the other and from one box to the other. And it used the little protocol HT based 10 in order to send the signal. And the boxes converted it. So it's kind of a great combination. If you get in a bind, you need to go a little farther than expected. You can go a lot farther than what you could with regular cabling by having Cat 5 available. But yeah, if I've got the projectors behind my system, and if I can use wired, I kind of like the reliability of just having wired connections on stuff. But sometimes we just don't have that capability for the event. All right. Can you project onto windows without backdrops or anything? Just straight glass. Good question. And yes and no. Yes, you can project onto glass, but there has to be some kind of film on it. They do make some really great film that is nearly translucent. May look a tiny bit fuzzy, but it pretty much looks like just a perfect glass image. At that point, what you can do is you can project onto those surfaces, but you're having to put film on windows that you probably don't own. If the windows are really, really, really dirty, it might show up. But other than that, no, it's just gonna project right through it. And you can't project onto mirrored surfaces because it's just going to bounce the light. You're going to see something on there, but it's just not going to be what you're hoping for. So yeah, it's trying to avoid the mirrored surfaces unless you can put. I think it would look really cool if you can put some white drapes behind it and project onto the glass, because I think it would give it a really cool glossy effect, and seeing the image through the glass. So that could be one of those options. Or if you have like a giant picture frame, put nice white or they make some really great reflective. It's if you're in low light conditions, then you can use the kind of the gray projection paint or white projection paint, and use that as the background so that you can project into the picture frame. And I think it would, it gives it a little bit of a glossy look. It's going to look really, really cool. And if it's depending on you can also rear project that way too. If you want to, if you've got the right, I've got some plexiglass in the back of the warehouse, and it's been coated with some projection film that I use at bridal shows. I just toss it down on the table and project onto it, and it ends up looking really, really nice. So, Lindley says, what suggestions do you have for projecting onto outside buildings? Projectors, software. I think it kind of based on, I have a feeling I know what you're talking about. I think you're talking about, projection mapping, and doing some of the building effects. That is something that, is a combination of software and projectors. So they usually do that at night, obviously. It's definitely hard to do it with any sunlight. Software, I'd go with, you're going to go with the Grand VJ XT, the XT version, because you're going to be able to do a lot more with it when it comes to connecting multiple projectors into one continuous screen. and it'll also allow you to. But if you're doing big buildings, you can do some basic shows with Grand VJ XT. But if you start to get into some of the big buildings and real customization, then you may want to consider Media Master, because that's what they use for like concerts and stuff. And Media Master also gives you the ability to sync lights all in one program, so you can control light shows and stuff with it as well. But that's also an Archaeos project or program. When it comes to like projectors, bigger the brighter the better when it comes to buildings. So I would do longer throw projectors. Short throw, I don't think it's going to give you a big enough image. And you're going to, consider where your audience is. Are they going to be 20 feet from the building, or are they going to be 80 feet from the building? Because you can get away with a lot more if the viewing audience is further back. You can make those images a lot bigger, or you can actually have your projectors farther back to make the projected surface the surface that you are projecting a lot larger. But remember, that makes all the pixels larger, so you have to be farther back for it to look better to the eyes. So go with HD. So native resolution 1920 by 1080. Yeah, outside stick with 5,000 lumens or more probably. I'm kind of getting excited. Optimo is releasing. There's a couple companies coming out with some laser, projectors, but they're still in the $8,000 range. It's just the 5,000 lumen projectors that are laser, $8,000, and they're still weigh like 50 pounds. So I don't know why. I just don't know why those projectors weigh so darn much. So yeah, high intensity lasers. HD projectors, 1920 by 1080 with a native resolution, 5,000 lumens or more. Software, video mapping software that you're most comfortable with. So Grand VJ XT or Media Master, or some people use like Resolume. But I think it also comes down to your computer. It's doing larger, events like this. If you're doing a lot of multiple projectors, you're going to run into needing, not something you probably want to run off a laptop. And that's where you start getting into the, a lot faster computers in order to do the processing power for you. So, hopefully that answers some of your questions there. But yeah, that's if you're just doing some kind of texture on the outside of a building, as an example here, I'll show you guys. Let's see here. One that I did. For the outside of a mansion. And this was done, it's a Grand Island mansion. This was done with two projectors. And the two projectors, just, come together right down the middle here. The trickiness of it is that, the building's back here. This is actually kind of a window shade that projects outward about 6 feet. And as it comes down, so this square here comes out about 6 feet from the building. And all this design work and stuff, this gets into like, hey, can we do the larger designs with projection? Then yeah, that's why I would go with projection on that in this particular instance. And then we can frame it in and do the mapping. The tricky part about outside stuff is that I don't want to leave my gear out overnight. So you got to practice and get really good at being able to do the mapping or have it roughly mapped in and set the way you want it, so that once it starts to get dark enough to where you can see if the guests are going to be out there before it gets dark. In this case, they were, and I was able to do get things into place really for the mapping as it started to get dark, and then have it activate once it got dark enough to be really impressive. So that's, outside of a building, this is kind of an example of just using two projectors and a laptop in order to do this. So let's see. Paul says, just curious, I'm in the market for a couple new. Oh yeah, we got that one as well. Okay. So we've got that answered. Let me know if there's any other questions in the chat. We are getting close to our time limit here that we're going to be doing for this stream. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. And if you do have any questions on when it comes to the projection and mounting stuff, toss them in the comment section below if you're watching this on VOD. And, I answer those all the time. So, again, I'm here to help you guys. I basically, I'm just in that market to help train you guys. And, your guys' questions kind of control what the future tutorials are going to be as well. So keep asking those questions, keep putting comments on what you guys want to learn in the comment section below. And check us out on Facebook. We've got a couple groups. So the 1% Solution group page and the Living Motion Monograms group page. Living Motion Monograms, obviously based on more of the tech side of our events and what we do. And 1% Solution group is going to be more about the questions on performance based and improving performance. So check those out. You can check out the websites at livingmotionmonograms.com and dj1%solution.com. And definitely, if you haven't already, hit that like button on this video and subscribe so that you guys get notifications when new tutorials and stuff are released and new product reviews. I get an email all the time. I get messages all the time where it was like they see the video on the PC stick. They're like, I didn't even know that was out there. So at least if I can save you the money of having to rebuy equipment that you didn't even know was out there, then hey, that's what we're gonna be doing. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks so much. We will see you guys on the next live stream. And again, I hope to see your guys' questions down below. And see you guys later.